but it's only 7 days shy of being the 27th anniversary of Peter Reid becoming our manager. Now, all these years later and unfinished business at the Black Cats, we're seeing the 61-year-old's name mentioned again. Leaving Sunderland business for Sunderland sides, I would like to write a little about his time with us, highlighting what he brought to our table. Howard Kendall signed Reid as a player in 1990 and made his debut away to Everton. Funnily enough, both Kendall and Reid had ties with Everton, aside Kendall would actually return to, leaving Reid to take the City management reins. In 1990, when Reid took control of City, we were far from the side we are now. Coming out of the 1980s, we had spent 4 seasons of the previous decade outside the top flight. Those seasons in top flight would finish in the bottom half. 198,182 was our most glorious of the era. We finished 10th. In Peter Reid's first season as manager, we'd end up 5th. More than that though, we were a place and 3 points higher than Manchester United. Back then, for us that was like a trophy. The following season was more of the same, 5th position. Although United were ahead of us that time, we also went that season not losing a Manchester derby though, 0 at Main Road and 11 at the Place. Unfortunately for Reid and us, his previous 2 seasons of relative success went against him for the following season. Finishing 9th in the newly formed Premier League, the writing was on the wall, especially given the ruthlessness of our chairman. Even getting to the FA Cup quarter-final wasn't enough to save Reid's job. So, when the following season started with 3 defeats and a draw, no more needed to be said. Reid was out. In 131 games in charge, Reid enjoyed at 42.75 win percentage. It doesn't sound fantastic, but the next 2 seasons saw us back to the bottom half, before finally being relegated. As we were struggling in the 3rd tier of English football, Reid was placed in the Sunderland hot seat. In fact, the season Alan Ball took us down, Peter Reid took them up. Both sides struggled in the new divisions, and so, when Sunderland were relegated, we were waiting. Not exactly ready though, as Reid's new side did the double over his old side. We were then relegated to the 3rd tier, and they lost out on promotion via a playoff penalty shootout. At the turn of the new century, Peter Reid Sunderland met Manchester City in the Premier League. City won 42 at Main Road, and lost 10 at the Place. City were once again relegated in 2001 and Joe Royle fired. A year later, October 2002, Reid was fired from Sunderland. Now, as a City fan who remembers the small ray of light in the early 1990s he gave us, I wish him luck.